Hello and welcome to episode 8 of my Working with Work series. And in this week's episode, I want to talk to you about what to do when you have just one of those days where everything is going wrong and you're just not in the mood to get on with anything productive. And let's be honest, this happens to all of us. I know it happens to me, I'm sure it happens to you, and for those of you who follow people like Gary Vaynerchuk, Seth Godin, even David Allen, Tony Robbins, all these people, when you see them on YouTube and you see they're full of energy and full of positivity, I can promise you those guys have shitty days. Please forgive my language. But we all have days when we're just not in the mood to get on with the work. Things are going wrong. People are just throwing utter rubbish at us, and we just have to deal with it. You know, you can wake up in the morning and you just feel like I'm not in the mood, and you just do not want to get out of bed. And to be honest with you guys, we all have them. I have them, you have them. Even the most productive people in the world has them. And the thing is you just do not want to let it get you down. Now, one of the beauties I find, and I only discovered this when I really decided that I was going to get my stuff together and I was going to get myself properly organized. Once the system started working and once I started trusting my system, those bad days, those really off days, became less and less frequent. But when they did happen, one of the amazing things is it didn't actually take me very long to get back into the groove. It didn't actually stop me from just getting back into getting on with the work that really matters. And because I have everything captured into my system, into my computer, into my phone, into my iPad, whatever, it doesn't take me long just to, when I'm feeling a little bit more positive, to just look at what's on my list and decide, yep, I can get this done today. And sometimes it just needs a little bit of a stimulus just to get you going. And you can just have a look at your list and say, right, I don't want to do that today. I don't want to do that today. And you can just move it off onto another day. And that brings me on to another point. I find a lot of people put themselves under so much pressure to complete every single task on their list for that day. And you know what, guys? That's not going to be possible every day. One of the beauties of having a system that you trust is that at the end of the day, when you come and look at your list and you discover you've got 10 tasks still left to do, but you just don't have the energy to do it, don't worry about it. All you need to do is just hand them off onto another day, reschedule them. You're essentially, as I think David Allen calls it, you are essentially renegotiating the schedule with yourself. Now, I find this is, once I really understood that aspect of things, I suddenly became a lot more relaxed about what I'm getting done. Of course, there are certain things on some days that absolutely must be done because the chain reaction, if they didn't get done, would not be worth the hassle. But there are also quite a lot of tasks on my to-do list that, don't have to be done today, but they're just on the list. They're just something that I actually want to get done on that particular day. I have a task at the moment in Todoist, which is to come up with a way of having 3 big things that I want to get sorted out in the week. How can I incorporate that into my daily task list? Now, I haven't come up with a solution to this yet, and it keeps coming up on my to-do list, and I keep handing it off because the brain just hasn't quite come round to figuring that out yet. And that's great, that's fine. Every day when I see it come up, and it's not every day, I think it's every 2 or 3 days, and I just haven't quite got the solution yet, I just hand it off onto another day. I just send it off onto another day. That's the kind of renegotiation. I don't feel bad about that. In fact, actually, it's pretty cool because still at the end of the day, my to-do list for the days have been done, my inbox is empty, and I can move on to the next day. But for those of you who wake up on a Monday morning and just think, oh God, hell is here, we're going to get those kind of days, and I don't think you'd be human if you didn't have those days. But the beauty of having a trusted system means that when you do get your enthusiasm back, say Tuesday or even Wednesday, all you need to do is to go into your to-do list manager, have a look at what you've got to do, see what's overdue, and just get started. Do you know, it's pretty amazing how quickly your enthusiasm and passion comes back once you get started. But the worst thing you could do is to say, oh, I give up, I'm just not in the mood, this is too much hassle. Because as soon as you start doing that, then you're going to let yourself down in the long term. You're going to have a few days, you might even have a week or two where you're just not in the mood to do this. And that's okay. I think it happens to all of us. But try to keep on top, try to keep capturing. You are going to get the mood back. You are going to want to do it again. And at least then you know exactly where you're starting from. So really what I wanted to tell you today is, look, you're going to have bad days. You're going to come off the wagon. You're going to have you're just not going to be in the mood sometimes. And that's okay. Take a day off. Take 2 days off. Let it go. Because the process of productivity, the process of being the most productive and sort of achieving person you can be is in the long term. It's not in the short term. And you're going to have off days. You know, there's so many expressions in English for this. It's like bad hair days. You know, just days are going to be, not every day is going to be fantastic. The key, though, is that the majority of your days are fantastic. And as long as the majority of your days are fantastic, then don't worry about those off days. But for those of you who want to be productive and those of you who are just not in the mood sometimes, look, the best advice I can give you is stop looking at your to-do list, but keep capturing. Eventually, you're going to want to come back to your to-do list. And, you know, if you're capturing, you're going to think, oh, I caught something. What was it I wanted? And you'll go straight back into it. Developing the habit of capturing, as I keep telling you guys, is one of the key parts of any productivity system. So get into that habit. But remember, you're going to have an off day, but don't get too upset about it. Take a day off, take a couple of days off, and just get back into it when you're ready. Okay, I don't want to go in any further. That's it for today. A little bit shorter than usual, but I just wanted to remind you guys that, you know, not every day is going to be fantastic. There are ups and downs in everything that we do, and the same for your productivity, but just roll with it. You know, it's kind of in boxing term, roll with the punch. And eventually you're going to come back to it, and you're going to come back stronger, and you're going to learn a lot from that experience. So when you have an off day, make sure you learn from the experience, but don't put yourself under too much pressure, because the worst thing you could do is start hating your productivity system, and that's not going to help you, and it's not going to help anybody. So have a fantastically productive week, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.